Welcome back, hunters, to Supernaturalist, the podcast where we don't just recap Supernatural. We dissect the creatures, the lore, the mythology, and the spiritual questions hiding in the shadows. Today, we're diving deep into Season 2, Episode 13, House of the Holy. And this episode is kind of different because for the first time in the series, we're forced to ask a dangerous question. What if the monster isn't a monster? What if it's an angel? Or at least something that believes it's an angel. Today we're talking about apparitions mistaken for angels, vengeful spirits, religious hauntings, faith versus skepticism, and whether divine intervention exists in the supernatural universe or in reality. This is one of the most theologically layered episodes in early Supernatural. So buckle up. We open with Gloria. She's alone in her apartment. She's smoking, watching TV, a religious show, surrounded by angel statues everywhere. And then the lights flicker. The television won't turn off. The room begins to shake. And behind her, a bright, blinding light. Not a shadow, not a growl, a radiance, like you would see an angel with radiant light. She turns around, and we see the suggestion of a shape within that light. Later, she murders a man and calmly explains, an angel told me to do it. And she's at peace. So what are we dealing with? Let's clarify something right away. There are no true angels in Supernatural yet, not until season 4. What we're seeing is the ghost of Father Gregory. He's a murdered priest. But here's the twist. He doesn't know he's a ghost. He believes he's an angel of judgment, and that belief shapes his behavior. And that makes this episode one of the most psychologically fascinating hauntings in the series. Now, before we analyze Father Gregory as a spirit, let's talk a little bit about angel lore. In biblical tradition, angels are not soft, glowing Hallmark figures. They're warriors, they're messengers, they're executioners. They're agents of divine justice. In scripture, the angel of death strikes Egypt. Archangel Michael leads heavenly armies. Angels destroy cities. They are often very terrifying. And when angels appear in the Bible, the first words are usually, "Not be afraid," which implies you absolutely should be. Now let's shift to ghost lore. A vengeful spirit in folklore is typically a soul that died violently, a spirit denied justice, and a ghost bound to unfinished business. In Catholic tradition, spirits might linger if they died in turmoil. They're stuck between purgatory and heaven. And in Supernatural, purgatory is not what is in the Bible. And these spirits are also unaware that they're dead. Father Gregory was shot on the church steps. He died violently. He had knowledge of parishioners' sins, and now he manifests as a radiant figure commanding murderers to kill sinners. This aligns with classic Catholic ghost lore, a spirit believing it's acting in righteous judgment. So why does Father Gregory believe he's an angel? This is the psychological horror of the episode. Father Gregory was a priest. His identity was built around moral authority, confession, protecting parishioners, and judgment. When he dies violently, his spirit can't reconcile that I'm dead. So instead, it transforms the narrative to, I've been chosen. This mirrors many real-world cases of religious hallucinations, spiritual delusions, and visionary experiences. The mind fills with trauma with meaning, and so does a ghost. So Father Gregory's MO, his pattern is clear. He appears as a bright light. He identifies a hidden sinner. He commands someone to kill that sinner, and that person feels peace afterward. Unlike most vengeful spirits in Supernatural, Gregory doesn't kill directly, and he doesn't lash out randomly, and also he doesn't appear grotesque like many other ghosts. He believes he's cleansing evil. This vigilante justice from beyond the grave. And here's where the episode gets fascinating. The victims, they are terrible people. One is a serial killer. Another is a predator stalking a young girl on the internet. The third attempts to assault a woman on a date. So the spirit isn't wrong about their guilt, which forces us to ask, is he evil or just misguided? This blurs the lines between divine justice and human judgment and supernatural interference, really. In supernatural canon, this point in the series, angels haven't yet appeared, and they're dismissed by Dean as fantasy and folklore. Ghosts are spirits bound to earthly locations. They can appear luminous or distorted, and often they don't even know they're dead. The big reveal comes when Sam performs a seance. Father Gregory appears, which proves he isn't an angel. He's a spirit, and the light is simply how he manifests. And unlike most ghosts in Supernatural, Gregory isn't burned. His bones aren't salted. He isn't violently destroyed. Instead, Father Reynolds, his superior, performs the last rites. This is deeply rooted in Catholic tradition. In Catholic theology, the last rite helps a soul transition, they offer forgiveness and release, and they guide the spirit to rest. When Father Gregory realizes the truth that he isn't an angel, he lets go. He is put to rest peacefully. And this is rare in Supernatural and incredibly powerful. And what about faith as a monster hunter's tool? Sam's faith becomes a major thematic element here. He prays. He believes in something bigger. Dean doesn't. Dean's trauma is their mother believed in angels, yet she's still burned on the ceiling. So this episode isn't just about a ghost. It's about faith versus trauma, hope versus cynicism, justice versus... After Gregory is laid to rest, he pursues the man Sam saw marked in light. That was a mouthful. The man attempts to assault the woman in his car. Dean chases him. A truck's loose pipe flies forward and impales the sinner. Timing is uncanny. It's too perfect. Dean, who rejects angels or anything divine, he hesitates. Maybe that was God. This is the first crack in Dean's skepticism, and it sets up major themes for later seasons, especially season 4. So what are the real world parallels? This episode pulls from real traditions, including Catholic purgatorial ghosts, angelic visitation experiences, religious vigilante narratives, and God told me to criminal confessions. In history, many criminals have claimed divine instruction. In folklore, spirits sometimes believe they are divine messengers. The horror lies not in the monster, but in certainty, absolute certainty. Now for the fun facts. This is actually the first episode to directly debate the existence of angels, 2 seasons before Castiel appears. Jensen Ackles has cited that this is one of his favorite early episodes because of Dean's emotional confession about their mother. And if you notice, and you probably have if you've seen this show as many times as I have, this church location is used in filming in a lot of episodes, so take notice, you will definitely see it. The glowing light effects are achieved through layered lighting and post-production diffusion rather than CGI. The wings, the manifestation, it's not CGI. The episode subtly foreshadows season 4's angel mythology. That's my favorite because near and dear to my heart, Castiel appears. The impalement scene required multiple stunt setups to get the timing just perfect. And now for my final thoughts. House of the Holy isn't about a monster in the traditional sense. It's about belief in the divine. It's about grief transforming into righteousness. It's about a spirit who thought he was saving people. And it's about 2 brothers standing in the space between science and faith. Sometimes the scariest thing isn't claws, it's conviction. So that's it for today, hunters. Next time, we dive back into darker territory. Until then, keep questioning, keep hunting. And if you see a light in the dark, ask yourself, is this salvation or something that just thinks it is? Thank you for tuning in this week. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. and share this with someone you think will enjoy this episode. Thank you again and have a great weekend.